In this special two-part episode of Ed's Retro Geek Out, the geeks head out to one of the biggest flea markets in the area.
This is flea market madness right here.
Will they find games, toys, or airplane parts?
Wait, what?
Alright guys, it's bright and early. We're over at Temploux. It's a 6-kilometer long flea market, so hopefully we'll find some stuff over here. It's kind of cold. Last year we got rained on, so let's hope it doesn't rain too much today.
So even though we got rained on last year, the finds were still really good. I mean, I was saving up all year for this flea market once again. I had to cut my budget in half because I had another purchase I wanted to do. So I wasn't really there with the budget I wanted to be there with, but there's a boot for every collectible thing out here. Anything you can think of, anything that is collectible, there's probably going to be at least one vendor over here that's selling it. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of resellers, but you just have to look around. The best find I found last year was over at a vinyl and CD booth, and I saw an SNES controller hanging out of a box down below. On the floor. It ended up being two SNES consoles together with a bunch of Mario games, and I asked how much for this. He said 50 euros. I said, is that for all of it? And he said, yeah. So 50 euros for all that. That was one of the best finds. Now that might not be a super deal or like a super huge lot, but it is a great deal. And I mean, you never know when you're gonna hit the mother load in a box that's underneath the vendor's table, kind of like now. Yeah, this is insane. There's like NES games, SNES games in the box. They're not priced. It seems like this guy doesn't know what he's selling over here. There's Secret of Mana. There's Final Fantasy III. We got a Mega Man in the box, but reproduction boxes. Repros. Freaking repros. On to the next one.
Alright, first purchase of the day. My buddy picked up this Wii game. It's apparently some kind of a zapper game for $5. And I picked up Starfox Assault. A Star Fox game I didn't have yet. It's kind of different from the other Star Fox games. So really excited to get this one for, how much did I pay? Like 17 or something. Yeah. He went for the haggle, so why not?
So yeah, Starfox Assault is not the one that's kind of weird. It's actually Starfox Adventures. The Starfox Assault game, they return to the R-Wing based gameplay, but there's also some on-foot missions like in Starfox Adventures. This is a problem I'm running into a lot now. I already have a lot of games for each different system, and even though when there's boots that have a ton of games, I have to sift through them, and usually it's just commons or uncommons I already have. I'm really chasing like the rare stuff right now because, well, I have to face it, when I already have the majority of a full set for most systems, it's getting harder. And you know, it's not that there's not any games out here, it's just that there's no games I need.
So yeah, it's great to be running around in Temploux again. They have freaking airplane parts over here. What's that about? Who's gonna buy part of an airplane wing over here. Anyways, I'm looking to find anything 80s or 90s toy related. I'm especially going to look for He-Man, Masters of the Universe stuff, because there was a ton of it last year over here. Other than that, just gonna browse through all the Game Boy games, NES games, and Super Nintendo to see if I can find something I can add to my collection. But yeah, 6 kilometers of stands. It's gonna take a lot of time. So let's get stuff.
Now, I like Ghostbuster toys a lot. The vintage toy line is just amazing, and this Ecto 2 is factory sealed, plus the dude has multiples. It's like 8 sealed Ecto 2s.
Okay, just ran into some Ghostbuster toys. The ones on cart, they were kind of ripped, so not really great, but you had like 4 Ecto 2s. You had like 4 Ecto 2s. They were still sealed, however, they were a bit damaged. He was asking $50 for those. That's way too much, though. So yeah, no Ghostbusters for me today.
So, we're digging around in this next boot, and there's a lot of toys out here, but there's also Mega Drive games. Oh yeah, 16-bit goodness.
We bought 4 Mega Drive games over there in the sale behind me. The lady was putting up a really big fight over the pricing, though. She was like 15 a piece, 15 a piece.
Now, I get the lady. I mean, it's early. We're here early. We always have to go early to the flea market to find stuff like this. And she can probably sell all of these games for 15 euros a piece. But I'm grabbing 4 because I want a deal. I think if I grab 4, I should get a discount, right?
So I got 4 games, ended up paying 48. She went down to 50 first. I was like, can you do 40? Can you do 45? But anyway, I got some great quality titles in here. They're all with the manuals. This first one I had to buy because of my friend who's holding the camera. He said, you definitely need to get this one. You can play it on the Mega Drive. It is a Japanese Mega Drive game. It's a shooter with some really big bosses in there. He said, you'll be glad you bought this one. Then I got Asterix and the Power of the Gods. Don't know too much about this game, but I didn't have it. Then I got Immortal, some kind of a isometric strategy or dungeon crawling game, I guess. And Primal Rage. My friend was like, get this one out of the deal because it's the least valued one, but I'm really into Primal Rage and I didn't have it yet. It's complete. It does have a bit of fading on the side, but you know, I just had to get it because I like the game.
I just have so much great memories to Primal Rage. Growing up, a friend of mine had it on the PS1. We would just spend Wednesday afternoons trying to figure out the fatalities and, you know, all the gory parts within the game. And it's probably with nostalgic glasses I'm doing this purchase, but from my experience, usually the Genesis or the Mega Drive versions of games that also came out on the PS1 or the SNES, definitely fighting games. They got more blood in there. They're usually pretty good. And sure, it's King Kongs and dinosaurs just getting a piece of that 90s Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter fighting game cake, and it's awesome.
That's the guy from Hercules. So we ran into a vendor who has some pretty cool old action figurines. They're all €2 a piece. They are a bit damaged, but yeah, I don't know. The reason it said Authentic? I don't know. I thought it said authentic, but I'm not too sure. It is Captain Planet, so I don't know. I'm probably gonna pass on these. Anyways, today we are doing the Toy Time Machine $20 challenge.
So as of this moment, the Toy Time Machine episode is already out, so I urge you to go check it out if you haven't already. It is a contest, so I don't know if you can still vote, but if you haven't watched it yet and you want to vote for me or for any of the other cool guys in there that are doing the International Toy Time Machine Challenge, the $20 challenge, go and check it out, leave your vote, and yeah, let's continue our show, but check out Toy Time Machine. So we head up to another booth that has a fair share of games, and I'm looking around, I'm checking out the NES games, I'm asking prices on these. All of the NES games are 15 euros a piece. Okay, one price for all games, that's pretty good. I ask about the boxed games, and they're also 15 euros a piece. What, is this 2010 again, where vendors don't care if they come with cardboard, Nintendo cardboard? Now, 15 euros for a loose NES game is usually hit or miss, but 50 euros for a boxed one? Hell yeah, I'm grabbing a bunch of these.
At the sale over there, I don't know if you can see it, we got a couple of NES games in the box. That was pretty cool. Some good titles. We got Dragon Ball for the NES. It's kind of a RPG type of Dragon Ball Z game. It only came out in the French areas over here. Then I also bought Rainbow Islands Bubble Bobble 2.
So the American Bubble Bobble 2 isn't the same thing as Rainbow Islands, the story of Bubble Bobble 2. They're separate games. They're not the same thing. Just want to clarify that.
Not as expensive as the USA counterpart, and Star Wars because it had the poster in it. Now, what's something pretty cool about this sale is that they didn't really know what the prices were, so we had to act fast.
When a deal presents itself, you have to snag it. I like digging around in these boxes with old toys because usually they're going to be cheap, and I find a mutating foot soldier. Now, the lady seems like she's not going to ask a lot, but I mean, it's kind of broken and she's asking 5 euros for this. Even though I'm army building these, 5 euros is just too much. My price range on this one has to be like the maximum of 2 euros, so I'm going to pass on all these toys in there because it's just ridiculous. If you want to ask those prices, make sure your toys are in decent condition. And just like in any other flea market, booths are hit or miss. You just have to do a lot, and luckily out here there's a lot of them. There's 6 kilometers of stands over here, so we just really have to check out every stand, dig around, try to find a deal. I mean, it's like freaking Disneyland. They have a map, a printed map for all of the attractions, all of the stands, where you can find them and stuff. It's insane, this flea market. This is flea market madness right here.
$40 a piece.
Yeah, those Jurassic Park toys were just a bit too overpriced. I don't think I'm gonna end up with any toys at the end of this video, but there's 2 parts. And then we hit the Topio Games boot. It's a vendor we've been seeing a bit more around our area too. He's coming to some of the conventions, and he has a pretty big stand over here. There's a lot of variety. There's board games, there's some toys, but there's a lot of games, a ton of games, and not just the common ones. And it's great because I have a list of some of the games I'm needing for some of the subsets I want to complete. It's not really the holy grails I'm looking for, but it's more like, you know, I'm missing a Mario Party there to complete that set. I'm missing an Alex Kidd, and there's a freaking Alex Kidd over here that I still need. The last one, I need it. Now, for those who aren't really familiar with Sega or the Master System, Alex Kidd is kind of the mascot before Sega had Sonic. So there's a bunch of games for Alex Kidd. There's, I think, 5 or 6. One was only released in Japan, something with BMX racing or something like that. But anyways, he was the mascot for Sega before Sonic was the big Mario competitor, really. Now, in this Alex Kidd and the Search for the Lost Stars game, you search for some zodiac signs, and in each level, you try to find 6 miracle balls. Yeah. I'm not gonna go further into that. This Topio Games boot is amazing. There's not just uncommon games, there's even Neo Geo cards over here. There's so much cool stuff. I mean, it does have a price to it, but one thing catches my eye, and it's kind of an oddity. Now, I passed on Streets of Rage 2, the Simpsons edition, before because I thought it was just a bit too pricey, but over here we just have the loose cards, and there's also a Streets of Rage TMNT one. So, if the price is right, I'm gonna grab these two. And so, we both actually find a couple of things over here. We decided to put it all together to get kind of a bundle deal. And this is when phones come in really handy, because I'm not that great at French. I mean, I can understand it, but I know nothing about the numbers, really. So we use the phone and we just type around. I know, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I know 69, but I'm not gonna pay 69 for this bunch of games right here. And that's why you need the calculator function on your phone, so you can actually negotiate when you can't really speak too much French. Now, the guy's a collector too, so he realizes, hey, these guys are just looking to get some stuff, and he gives us a pretty good deal. Let's see what we got. So in our boot, some really cool stuff we found over here. We got a great deal from the guy who's selling over here. My buddy got Ranma 2? Game I swooped over initially, so he caught me slipping on that one. He also got Alley Wars for the Game Gear, Bust-A-Move 2 for the N64, and a boxed copy of Star Voyager for the NES. Is it a shooter or? Yeah, okay, alright. Anyways, I was scooping in this tiny tub of loose Mega Drive games, and I saw a turtle game, but it's kind of weird. It's Streets of Rage 2, actually, so it's kind of a hack. And then a bit further, I found the Simpsons Streets of Rage 2, so also a hack. These were priced at $5 each. That's pretty good for hacks that you can actually put into the authentic system, so you can actually play this on your Mega Drive or your Genesis. And then I also got to add one game to the Master System collection, and that is Alex Kidd and the Lost Stars, the last Alex Kidd game I still needed. Awesome to add this one. So yeah, got all this stuff for 60 euros. That's a pretty darn good deal. I told you I wasn't paying 69. So we wrap it up over at Topio Games, and we start walking around some more because we have a lot more flea market to cover. However, it's not going to be in this episode. And so the journey continues in next week's Edge Retro Geek Out. Be sure to subscribe and tune in on Monday for Temploux Toy and Game Hunting Madness Part 2.